Anna Kasparian was on the Michael Brooks show, and she does go on there relatively frequently, and they have talked about Dave Rubin a couple of times now, and it's always great to watch. I did a video also on her and John Idarola uh, making fun of Dave Rubin on TYT, which was glorious to watch. There's never a moment to, miss out on making fun of Dave Rubin, especially because some of the things you say about him really stick with him and hurt him deep, like when you call him a fraud. So if you post him that meme that I posted, you're getting blocked for sure. So they talked about a couple things here, and it's gonna sort of lead into Dave Rubin and how much of an idiot he is. But check out this clip here. What you guys are gonna see is Anna and Michael are going to make fun of Dave Rubin for not even being able to pronounce Bolsonaro's name, but having an opinion on him.
I got to let you go in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to say when you said you were thinking about people's policies and records, and I was picturing you doing like very diligent research and thinking about it, and then this dumb voice went off in my head, and it was just like, I'm just really interested in your ideas.
Well, I mean, I'm really hoping that he's looked into Bolsonaro.
What is your opinion on Brazilian Prime Minister Bolsonaro regarding, oops, there's a lot of things moving here, deforestation of the rainforest? P.S. I'm a Christian. I'd bake you a cake, though. I don't know enough about him, but it sounds like he really hates Marxism, and he's really pushing Brazil to become more of a world leader, and that he actually is for capitalism, and he's trying to get some of the SJW stuff out of the schools. I just saw a tweet by him a day or two ago. So on that front,
and made a decision about whether or not he supports him. I mean, that video was pretty incredible. I love that you tweeted it.
Isn't that fucking unreal? And then what I liked is that in that video, we played it last week on the show, so most people know what I'm talking about. But basically, but please watch. Anna did an incredible video, just demolishing Dave Rubin, and also, by the way, doing a great explanation of the Lula case and everything that's been happening in Brazil. Please go watch that. But he appeared on a pro-Bolsonaro propaganda YouTube channel, and then he got a question about it from his audience, and it was specifically with regards to clear-cutting the Amazon. And he was like, and I knew, and it was funny because I figured like, oh, he'll get a question like that, and he'll be like, I don't know, I need to read more. But he did like, SJWs in the schools, blah blah blah, but he did use the like, I don't know enough about clear cutting in the Amazon. And I saw today though that he was bitching on Twitter about like, I don't know, Family Guy isn't going to do gay jokes anymore. Some shit that like honestly I wouldn't even know one way or another if I wasn't looking to make fun of Dave Rubin. And I saw that tweet and I was like, oh, I guess like his Amazon clear-cutting reading time obviously got interrupted by the fucking breaking news that Seth MacFarlane's like cartoon that is apparently still running on television isn't going to do like 2005 gay jokes anymore. Like, way to keep your eye on the ball, buddy.
Yeah, he's a simple-minded kind of guy. That's all he is. I mean, and honestly, I'm so past being upset about him. I don't even know if I was ever really upset. I was just frustrated at how like his ridiculous talking points somehow resonate with people. Like, I just want people to be better. And I'm not saying like, hey, I don't want you to have libertarian viewpoints. Like, it's fine if we disagree. It's fine if we have different perspectives. I think that's totally okay. But don't be fooled by literally the dumbest guy in media. Right? Like, I just want people to be better. I want you to be better. I want you to listen to people who are actually informed on the topics. And look, I'm not perfect. I know that I've probably, made a few mistakes or errors. I've
Everyone has
stories where maybe I didn't have, but there's a certain level of intellectual curiosity that I hope people see in me that I just don't think Dave Rubin will ever have. I mean, how do you go on to do propaganda for this fascist Brazilian leader, and then later when you're asked a question about him, you don't even know how to say his last name? Who the hell is Bolsonaro? Like, I couldn't believe how incredibly stupid he came off as, because that's who he is.
It's a burrito place that just shut down on Fulton. Bolsonaro.
So as you guys saw there, with the accompany clip. I made sure to accompany the clip for you guys of Dave Rubin. I actually didn't remember him saying Bolsonaro, which is, and this is the thing, and I talked about this before, guys. This dude said Bolsonaro. It's Bolsonaro, and this is something that leads into it. So this Bolsonaro thing really exposed a good amount of people for being intellectual jokes and frauds and just, intellectually lazy bastards, and not even intellectually lazy a lot of times. A lot of them were just ended up being trolls. So one of the ones I talked about was Sargon of Akkad, who exposed himself as a complete troll because, he was like, oh, well, my support for Bolsonaro is dependent upon how many people on Twitter with Soviet, hammer and sickles go after him. So essentially what that means is, my opinion on Bolsonaro is based upon what the commies on Twitter think about him. What does that mean? That means that you're a reactionary. It means you don't have beliefs. You don't have held principles. You don't have any thoughts. Your thoughts are based on what other people do, which is embarrassing. You're a joke. And most of all, and then he put he had like a Bolsonaro meme on his header. He has it as his header now. So the guy's just a troll. I think he's found a nice home where he can make some good cash and then just kind of chill, say his really dumb shit, and that's kind of what he does. That's his thing now. Now, Dave Rubin is the other case of this, where you can't even pronounce the guy's name, and the way that he said it upon reading is like Bolsonaro. The way he said that was like, you don't even know who that is. That's what it seems like to me. Now, laughably, he says that, he's going to get the SJW stuff out of the schools. Is it like, do you hear the things that you say and you're about to say in your head before you say it? Like, come on, bro. Are you trolling? Is that really one of your points? You think that you're making a good point by making the statement of, I heard he's, really anti-Marxist and he's going to get some of the SJW stuff out of the schools. How much of a joke are you? Honestly, how much of a joke are you? That's an obvious question. It's rhetorical. But anyways, the point here being is the guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He just says random shit. So in Sargon's case, he couldn't even spell Bolsonaro. And same thing with Roaming Millennial, by the way. Roaming Millennial is another dunce that I'm going to be talking about in another video. She's also a dumb fuck who couldn't spell his name either. And she was trying to make some dumbass point of like, we told you SJWs this was what was going to happen. What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with that. This is Brazil we're talking about. Anyways, the point being, if you can't pronounce the dude's name, don't give us your opinion on what he's saying, because what you're telling us is, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just saying these preset garbage talking points that I'm just gonna, recite ad nauseum because I'm a fucking idiot. That's what he's basically doing. So the other part of that, by the way, of the whole Dave Rubin Bolsonaro weird aspect is that Bolsonaro is a, well-known massive homophobe, like a huge homophobe. I believe one of the quotes that he said was something like, I'd rather have like a dead son than a gay one. And he said that if I had a gay neighbor, that would bring down the value of my home. He's just a piece of garbage, massive homophobe. And we just covered the story the other day about how the only open gay congressman in Brazil has fled for his life. He's left because he's in fear for his life because of all the threats coming his way. And one of the other gay members of some, I think, a councilwoman in Brazil who was killed. So he just kind of added all up. He's like, shit, I got to get out. And what was Bolsonaro's response? Well, Bolsonaro responded by going on Twitter and sending a bunch of thumbs up and happy emojis because he was excited that he was gone. So I am now convinced, and you can let me know your thoughts on this. I personally believe that if it were financially and image-wise beneficial, brand-wise beneficial, Dave Rubin would come out tomorrow and announce himself a straight man, because the idea of being someone who's gay, and by the way, he'll never let you, God forbid, there's 5 seconds that goes by in a Dave Rubin video where he doesn't mention that he's gay and married. But how on God's green earth can you be a gay dude and support somebody who's he's like one of the biggest homophobes on the planet, especially considering that, he wants to be a dictator. He's now president of Brazil. So how could you possibly be in support of him? Like, you have to be a self-loathing, hating, like, loser, pretty much, is what you have to do. You've already sold out all of your personal values and your morals. They're all out the window. Morals, values, to you, I don't even think those words exist. He doesn't. And I genuinely don't know if this is true or not, but I have a hunch, and Anna Kasparian's talked about this, where she spoke about how she admires his quality, his characteristic of being so ruthless, to where, guys, think about this. Put yourself in this dude's shoes. This guy he's a gay dude who supports one of the biggest homophobes on the planet, who's now a president, and who has said he wants to be a dictator, had celebrated at the fact of the only openly gay congressman in Brazil running for his life. Think about being in that position. Like, I wouldn't be able to, I would never get to that point because I would have stuck to morals at any point, right? So you wouldn't switch in the first place. But are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, you are such a fucking piece of shit. And you're loathsome. Like, I pity you. That's how embarrassing this is. And so he's got this. I don't know whether or not he can sleep at night. I generally don't know because it doesn't seem as if he should be able to, but I don't know. I really, honestly, am not sure. I just have no idea. But there's one more clip that I'm going to show you guys from this video. Anna took offense to Dave Rubin's dumbass tweet where he said that the government shutdown isn't really affecting that many people, and if you have a government job, you should probably get a different job. Check that out.
And then one final thing I just wanted to
Yeah,
bring
please.
up. Look, there are hardworking Americans who are suffering over the dysfunction of our government right now.
Right.
Okay, like 800,000 federal workers who, many of them are not, getting paid much. 78% of them are literally living paycheck to paycheck. And Dave Rubin felt the need to go on Twitter and criticize them for deciding to take a government job. That was his commentary. That was his enlightened commentary on this very real issue. There are people right now who are not able to feed their children over the dysfunction of government, and he's going to go ahead and point fingers at the federal workers as if they're the problem.
Yeah,
He's
but
so pathetic.
you recognize that Family Guy is not doing gay jokes anymore, right, Anna? I mean,
you know what? That is the real problem.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing up the biggest idea.
I don't know. Interested in ideas. All right.
Yeah, so I think she's pretty right on that. And I've heard some idiots say the comment of the government shutdown isn't affecting that many people. Anytime there are a million workers who are not getting their paychecks, when a vast majority of workers live paycheck to paycheck, that is inexcusable, it's unacceptable, it's immoral, and it's ridiculous. And the fact that think about this, right? You've got Dave Rubin, the dude who sold his soul for money and fame. That's what he did. And you have like the nerve to be like, oh man, you everyday person out there working for the government who has a government job, you should probably get a different job, man, just so you're not at the whims of the government. How can you explain that to somebody, especially considering the fact that you're a failed comedian and the only reason why you are not somebody who's in a position similar to that is because you sold out. You sold your soul. You don't have any morals. You're a fraud, you're a joke, and you're a loser, period. So, again, I always enjoy dunking on Dave Rubin, and I'm glad that Michael and Anna did so once again.